In a fog-bound Ardennes ambush, the crew suffered loss and watched a Sherman go up in flames. Yet against the odds, one 75mm round tore through a Tiger's front and stopped the beast. That impossible hit cost nothing to claim, but sparked hope, fueled legends and helped push upgrades, proof that instinct and improvisation can turn loss into advantage. The Sherman's interior reeked of oil, hot metal, and a constant edge of terror. Snow fell outside in the Ardennes, but inside the steel shell the air was thick with sweat and smoke, and the engine's steady rumble. It wasn't loud so much, as a vibration through the hull, the ground itself humming, and that sound meant one thing: a Tiger was coming. Raymond Carter wrapped both hands around the round out of muscle memory. He'd done it in drills and in battle. Load, close the breech, step back. This time the shell felt off, a touch heavier, a different balance, just enough to spike his pulse. He glanced. Brass casing, 75mm AP. Still it seemed tighter, hotter, maybe more propellant, maybe nothing. There was no time to find out. He shoved it home, slammed the breech and signaled, "Up!" The gun fired. The recoil shook the tank. Then, impossibly, the Tiger across the field shuddered, smoke blooming from its front plate and a gash opening where no Sherman round should reach. The Tiger halted. For a long breath inside the Sherman, no one spoke. That shot shouldn't have worked. Manuals said the 75mm couldn't pierce a Tiger's front. Yet it had. Luck, miracle, or a flaw in that one shell had upended the rules. This is the story of one loader, one improbable hit, and the shell that shouldn't have penetrated. To see why Carter's shot stunned everyone, you must grasp what they faced. The Tiger was not a typical tank, but a mobile fortress, heavy, armored, and deadly. Known simply as the Tiger, it tipped the scales at roughly 57 tons with nearly 100mm of frontal armor and an accurate 88mm main gun that could kill a Sherman beyond a mile. By contrast, a Sherman's 75mm could only hope to pierce Tiger frontal armor at very short range. In battle, that gulf in reach and protection was often fatal. Shermans earned grim nicknames like Ronson for how quickly a hit could ignite. Them, while Tigers frequently survived multiple strikes, crossed rough ground and kept fighting. The Germans also used the Tiger as a psychological weapon, a mythic, feared machine. Well-positioned Tigers and skilled crews could wipe out many Allied vehicles. One famed example was Michael Whitman's deadly run. So when any Sherman downed a Tiger, especially through the front, it overturned expectations and manuals. Raymond Carter was 20, a farm boy from Iowa drafted in 1943, trained at Fort Knox and assigned as loader. In a tank crew, everyone had a role: driver, gunner, commander, and the loader whose hands kept the gun firing. Ray was fast, precise, and steady, traits honed by early mornings hauling hay and fixing tractors. Inside a Sherman there was no comfort, cramped, hot or freezing, rattling with past blasts, smelling of oil and metal. Battles for him were counts, shells, seconds, breaths. He trusted to motion, grab, ram, step back, brace. He didn't want medals, only to survive and return to the farm. By December 1944, his unit had pushed through France into Belgium and the Ardennes, weary and braced for counterattack. One foggy morning they crept into woods, and radio warned, "Movement ahead, 2 Tigers." Ray felt the weight of what that meant. As the Sherman stopped and he reached for the next round, the subtle imbalance in the shell told him something had changed. He'd loaded hundreds of rounds, and this one felt wrong. A fraction heavier, a beat of hesitation he couldn't afford. The order came and he obeyed. Ram it home, shut the breech, step back. The gun fired, then the impossible. The Tiger ahead smoked and stopped, a hole blown in its frontal armor where doctrine said no Sherman round could reach. Shock hung in the turret. Manual said frontal hits were futile, yet the casing ejected at his feet proved otherwise. In the foggy Ardennes ambush, they'd lost another Sherman to an 88-meter blast, and Carter had nearly been next, but that odd round changed everything. Engineers later explained that a small rise in propellant, or a seam in the target, could turn velocity into lethal energy. Wartime factories sometimes produced inconsistent loads. Word of the hit spread fast, growing into nicknames, and Tall tales, though Carter never claimed glory. He always said he simply did his job. The event helped push upgrades, bigger guns and HVAP ammo with tungsten cores, though supplies were scarce. More than a miracle, the shot became a reminder that training, improvisation, and raw human instinct often mattered as much as steel and blueprints.